going for a majority control situation as opposed to the minority stake. The minority stake, as we said before, we may not be able to enact all the changes that we wish. We may face some other operational hurdles in the way. The other thing we get is the synergies, which we discussed a couple minutes ago with a few of your questions. And the synergies added value to the net present value of this deal because Portfolio Co. is already operating in the same sector. Obviously, we can combine their expertise with Pierce Co. to reduce some of that SG&A expenses and also reduce the cost of goods sold. Now, I want to direct you to the appendix. If you would jump ahead to slide 11.
Before we do that, can you talk a little bit about the senior debt that you're proposing? What kind of research did you do on the senior debt and where we're going to get the $63 million?
The $63 million was, I believe, in the note that we had from our supervisors was that the $63 million was already available to the firm. We were looking at the cost of debt, I believe, at 14%.
You assume we have to refinance the existing debt?
Well, the 63% at Pierce Co. right now is 6.5%. The change of control clause that comes in with the covenant changes that to, we were told that we'd be able to go ahead and get the debt refinanced at 14%.
I'm just confused because under the 49% purchase, you're putting about $98 million of debt in the company, but on the 100% purchase, you're saying you're going to get $63 million.
Right, and the 49%, what we wanted to do was leverage the company for all the debt that they could get, which we knew that there was already outstanding $34 million in credit available to them at an average rate of 16%. When looking at the 100% acquisition, we're talking about a different company with different ownership. We felt that we may not have access to the same capital from the banks. They may not be willing to invest. So without having that explicitly available to us, we didn't want to make that assumption. That was something we could research.
So you see that there's less debt capital available on the 100% scenario?
We didn't want to make the assumption that there would be more than that.
If we could borrow the $98 million, would that make our IRR in that scenario be more attractive or ideal?
Absolutely. And ideally, we would lever this as much as possible and maximize the amount of debt in the transaction. Although, that said, we still need to evaluate the EBITDA coverage to make sure that we're comfortable with the amount of money we're stepping.
I think you need to redo that analysis if you think you get $98 million of debt. So it's not really going to be helpful. So
one of our goals is to be as conservative as possible. If we can get that debt, and it would positively affect our numbers, that's great. But if we want to go ahead and give you, I guess, what's the worst case scenario that we have here, if we get higher than what we've calculated, I think that works out very well.
Certainly something we're willing to follow up on and get back to you on that.
Don't you think in this environment here with that banks lending curtailed as it's been, that it'd be wise to consider a seller note in this situation? Did you consider that?
We did not, but we all go ahead and more information for you.
Okay, thank you.
Just knowing your time is valuable, we want to move ahead and briefly discuss the other three options that we consider, these alternative investment options that we considered. Quickly go through these, one of them being a IPO of the combined company. So we purchased Pierce Company, go ahead and do an IPO in 2010. We certainly feel the IPO market is rebounding from recent struggles. However, in this point, with the profitable combined co, we feel like we're giving up. We don't want to go ahead and dilute our equity stake in this position. We also feel like this shortens our investment horizon timeline from the 4 to 6 years, which was offered, to a 9-month timeline. And again, you also have to consider there all the things that go along with an SEC registration while we're trying to merge these two companies together. The second item that we reviewed was a concurrent sale of Portfolio Company. As you're aware, we have an offer on the table from Silver Capital for $578 million for Portfolio Co. We considered selling that and PE Shop acquiring Pierce Co. Two things there. One, we believe that Portfolio Co. is a profitable entity. We also believe that EBITDA multiples will increase into the future, allowing for Portfolio Co. to be more profitable at a future date rather than selling at this point in time. We also looked at the acquisition cost of $165 million. 120 of that would be debt, so we'd be significantly leveraging PE Shop, and not something we're overly comfortable with at this point in time. Finally, we looked at an acquisition of 51% stake in Pierce Co. by PE Shop. And again, certainly gives us our control premium. However, we calculated that 49 to 51% control premium at $13.5 million, which is quite a premium over what we would be getting. We believe that if you're going to get the control premium, you make the 100% investment, you get a higher NPV, and you stretch that $13.5 million over the rest of the value of the firm.
Have you looked at sort of the tax consequences to the seller here and what he might look at as more favorable to him?
We didn't look at the tax consequences for the seller. However, we did look at, from our prior experience, we did suggest to the Pearsons that they sell 100%. We felt that was a better option for them. Quite frankly, we don't really care what's best for the Pearsons. We need to focus on what's best for PE Shop. The best option for PE Shop is 100% acquisition. So we did not really take a whole lot of consideration for what was best for the Pearsons.
We have to convince them to sell it to us.
Correct.
Thank you, guys. Okay, that was a bit abrupt, which is not real world, but we do give each team precisely 20 minutes for the presentation. So right now, the judges will head back to the boardroom to deliberate for 12 minutes. So again, please feel free to grab some water or coffee out in the foyer, and we will reconvene in 12 minutes for presentation number 2. 12 minutes.